The SALP program has been very successful for our community groups. It's provided money for them to realise their dreams. It is an on-ground, grassroots level program. It actually gets plants in the ground. Plants in the ground benefits our environment. It benefits the riparian areas. It's great for water quality. It improves our catchments. And as we know, if we've got healthy catchments, we've got healthy people.
The people that are part of the SALP program are the ones that are out there on the ground working to improve their local area. I've been involved with the SALP program since it commenced, so a lot of these people have been involved for the whole timeline. They're dedicated people. There's lots of characters because they're committed and they're passionate, they love what they do, and that translates to the way they deal with the other people in the community and the other stakeholders that are also involved in those projects.
So looking at all of our projects, they're all very diverse. The Mill Street project has been our longest running project. It's one of our toughest projects because it's constantly inundated by stormwater. It changes every year. The lagoon, which is nearby but isn't affected by the Mill Street catchment as such, has a much more pleasant, serene and balanced environment, which is a freshwater environment, provides a fantastic area for water birds. We have a huge diversity of water birds that nest and feed and lodge there overnight.
One of the two creek lines in particular was very saline, and in summer the water, which did flow the whole year round, was measuring about 1700 millisiemens, which makes it toxic to sheep, and particularly young sheep. And so we had to do something about it.
I think on the whole I'd go for Hamilton Lake, which is the one we've done over the last couple of years, where we've planted some thousands of native plants around the interchange lakes between the freeways on main roads land. Partly like it because of the scale, which we found very daunting at first. When we first started, we thought that we perhaps bitten off more than we could chew. We're concentrating on what we think is important in having green natural spaces still in the city. People do need that. I think and as the city grows and becomes more of a big city, I think it will be even more important that people don't actually totally lose any connection with the natural environment.
The Helena River Rehabilitation Project has been a very successful project. It's run over 10 years along 5 kilometres of the Helena River. It's involved private landholders, councils, school children, all who have come together to make this project a success. It's an award-winning project, and it also had a measure of success. 6 years ago they had the return of the red-eared fire-tailed finch.
We have one chap who's notable because he actually appears to like wheelbarrows full of heavy mulch. I mean, most of us, when we're faced with piles of mulch in several wheelbarrows, and we know we've got to spread it out over slopes and various awkward places, but this character, he sort of fires up. So we cherish him. It's what he actually appears to actually like doing. It's incomprehensible, and we think maybe he should have counselling, but on the other hand, it's very valuable.
Val from Woolloomooloo is a fantastic person. She is a real character. Val has a passion for the environment and everybody knows about it. She is a real workhorse. In fact, when she has a job on, she is great for getting other people involved in her job. In fact, the Woolloomooloo prisoners, she single-handedly got a crew of the Woolloomooloo prisoners to help her on site for a number of weeks.
We were doing some restoration in one of the creek lines, the Mill Street main drain that we affectionately know as the Mill Street stream. We were stabilising the creekline bank with using natural timbers, and we were working as a group of 3 volunteers. We'd been in the water for probably 2.5 hours. We were very proud of ourselves. We'd been working with this one piece of wood that was about probably 4 or 5 metres long, a very, really large tree log, and we'd literally finished placing this log into the embankment. We were really happy with it. It was nice and stable. All 3 of us stood up, standing in our waders, patting ourselves on the back, and this largest tiger snake I've ever seen in my entire life, and never seen one this big since, just quietly swam out of one of the hollows and popped itself up into the creek, zigzagged in between all of our legs, and then went up the embankment. And it was like, whoa, that was it for us. It was like, yeah, okay.
I think the one I most remember is one lady, one of our members, who was rather elegant, very hard worker, but she, unlike most of us, she always looks beautiful and well groomed, even while she's slaving away. And one day she was there at a wetland that we look after in the summer when it's fairly dry, with some lovely new boots. She said, I wonder what that is out in the middle, and she went striding out. And, oh, it's very, very dry, isn't it? She said, oh, actually, maybe it's not. I'll never forget the look on her face, and she suddenly realised that she was gently subsiding into the mud, quite thick mud, which was underneath the apparently dry crust, and she just very, very slowly subsided. And the rest of us sat round and just made consoling remarks like, oh well, if it goes over your head, we'll ask the council if they'll name the place after you. Wouldn't that be nice?
We've been able to tap into the primary school environment now for most of our experience time, 10 plus years. And through that, I think we've had this rapport where we've built up a caring and a nurturing environment that the students, they're involved with the projects, but at the same time, they're custodians of the area. So, they can still come and play. We encourage that. They can still adventure, we encourage that, but at the same time they tend to be much more aware of what damage they can cause at an environmental level, and that's been fantastic.
Community groups come together in a social event, so it's great for them psychologically. It's good for them to make plans and realise these plans with the funding that SALP puts together. It's great because for an educational point of view, it's when we have planting days. Children are invited along, and then they reconnect with nature. And for us, they are the future land carers.